On this week's episode of Consumed, we're going to take a look at what agents really want and need, and we're going to hear it directly from three of my favorite agents in the business. You're not going to want to miss this. This is Consumed, the podcast for real estate agents who are tired of hearing the same old industry stuff and want to experience something completely different. I don't even know where to start with the panel that I have today. I have known these fabulous ladies for a long time. I will say that it's easy for me to say that they are my favorite real estate agents in the business, although they won't believe me when I say that. But I think it's because I have the most fun when I talk to them. So I'm excited for everyone to hear what these fantastic agents have to say. But what we're going to talk about today is what do they need? Because the difference between what we normally do on the Consume podcast, talking about consumers' needs, today we're going to talk about what an agent needs. Because I think as the world and landscape is changing, I am dying to know what these fantastic agents feel like they need. And they all sort of half rolled their eyes up and they got very ponderous in this. And they thought, you know what, Lance, I need about $4 million in the bank and a husband that looks like George Clooney. But other than that, I think I'm good. So let me begin introductions. Just tell everybody your name, where you're from, what brings you here. Tell everybody your first name, last name, what area you service, and just something interesting about you. I'm going to start right off the bat with Lisa Marie.
Oh, man. Well, I'm Lisa Marie Emery. I'm from Seattle, and I think I try to have an optimistic attitude, or at least reach for the silver lining as often as I can in a crazy, crazy world.
I love it. And also, you're a fantastic political activist.
Oh, my. Well, yes, that also.
Wonderful.
It's true.
Wonderful.
I'm quite passionate about that.
Excellent. The infamous Kelly Kaz.
Hi there. I'm Kelly Kozlowski, also known as Kelly Kaz. I work in Denver. Something interesting about me. I'm really actively looking forward to being retired. I have 20 years to go, but I am planning now.
I think that speaks very well to many of the folks in our audience. And last but not least, the Lord of the Links. It is the incomparable Barbara Bonato.
Hi, everyone. I am Barbara Bonato. I am coming to you from Livermore, California. And other than my golf game, which Lance referred to, something interesting, I am a dual citizen. I am Canadian and I am American. So I think I have a different perspective on things.
And that's actually really good for, I think, for a lot of folks to hear, too, because I think sometimes the different perspective, I mean, until we officially take over Canada, I think it's good to have the different perspective mixed into this, because I genuinely believe that, again, having seen how real estate happens in other countries, you know, it's a lot of what you hear is we have the best system. And so I'm super curious, and we're going to explore all of those types of things. But first, my first question right off the bat is, what do you, and you all go in whichever order you like, but what do you feel is the single biggest thing that you are missing in your business that you need? There's no right or wrong answer. What is the single biggest thing that you feel that you're missing in your business that you need?
I'm going to say, I wish we only had like one means of communicating. Like this whole email, text, phone calls, emails that never get responded to. You don't know if they're looking at your text. Like, I wish we just had one way to communicate with the people that we want to communicate with and we want to hear from. But I get a little lost sometimes. Like, are they an email person? Are they a text person? I send the text. I don't get a text back. I don't know. Maybe I should just go knock on their door. But I don't think anybody wants me showing up unannounced either. So
What are you talking about? That's called a pop-by in the industry, and everybody loves a pop-by.
Everybody hates a Popeye.
100%, Barbara.
I haven't heard you comment on a Popeye in a long time, Lance.
Oh, we all know how much I love a good pop-by. Nothing says I'm here to show you I care, like showing up at 4:30 in the afternoon, right when the kids get home from school, and you're on a call. That's the best time to let somebody know you care. Barbara, what about you?
I really would love to have someone handle all my social media. Like if I could, I just feel so inept when it comes to social media. And I would love to have someone just handle it all. and take what's in my head and just make it happen.
Well, there's a bazillion services out there that'll do that.
I know, but I haven't really found a service that I like.
So we're going to come back to that because I think that's a really interesting question that I would like to explore. And Lisa Marie?
Mine's a little bit more esoteric. I think what I really would like and what I really would need is a brokerage that is more aligned with my take on life, with my take on business or how to be of service, and not focused on the bottom line dollar, actually. But I don't know, maybe that's an issue with me and my shrink. I don't know if that is compatible in business.
Well, I mean, two things can be. No, it's true. Two things can be. And so let's explore a couple of these. I want to start back with Kelly, what you said, you needed one single form of communication. The first thing that I would say is, would you all agree that sometimes that's just generational?
100%.
Yes, without a doubt.
And what do you find from your experience in terms of generational communication?
My senior citizens have literally told me, I do not text. Do not text. I don't need a smartphone. I'm going to need you to come to my house so I can sign that contract, which is appropriate. I'm okay with that.
Well, I think the thing for agents is to find out what's the favored mode of communication. And then we all have to flex our style to fit the client. Because my millennials, all they do is text. They don't pick up the phone. They don't really email. I have to text them to tell them to check their email.
I do that with my daughter. I would add to that how often they want to hear from you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I think those needs are
Yeah.
different.
like to ask the client how often they want to be checked in? Is that what you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to ask that of some of my
No.
clients. It would be like hourly.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Oh, well, I could put boundaries on that. That'd be easy for me. But my inclination would be to I mean, I hate saying this, but my inclination would be I'll call you when I have something important to tell you, or if I mean, like, what's your comfort level with that? Do you need me to hold your hand? If so, we're going to have another conversation probably.
Well, but some clients don't know until they start the process
True.
that they need to be,
Yeah.
that their hands need to be held. So, all of my clients know that after 8 o'clock that they're not going to get a hold of me, and that they're going to get a response very early the next morning. So, I think I even sometimes, not to change the subject, but talking about communication, I think I get withdrawal symptoms at the end of a transaction, because I'm so used to talking to these people and texting them at 6:30 in the morning, that I kind of get withdrawals.
I don't know exactly what to say, since y'all just said about 9 things that, again, from the coaching and educational development world, all make me apoplectic. But we will continue along with the question process. But no, and I understand. I think everything that you all said was incredibly valid and very, very valuable. My recommendation, I think, and you've all heard me say this 100 times before, is you have to have a starting point. So I think with everybody, what I always want to do is present them with something that lets them know how I operate, and then ask them what from this works for you, or what do you need done differently? Because once you have that base framework set up for them that says, hey, there's a magic link that I give you, and that magic link is yours to use when you want to talk, you can click on that. It gives you full access to my calendar. You pick that whatever works for you, and we'll talk. Obviously, that's different if we're in the middle of a deal, right? That's a separate entity, but in general, that's exactly how we're going to go about doing that. And then, so, I think it's important, and you all know this, right, that we have, as I like to say, the Cesar Millan method of rules, boundaries, and limitations in and around working with clients. But I do want to pivot just a little bit, because although it's different, it is related to what Barbara said, which is having somebody run my social media for me. Now, I'm not going to go into marketing today because we cover that in a completely separate show. But I do think, though, Barbara, and correct me if I'm wrong, what if it wasn't just your marketing? What if you had someone that actually played flight traffic control around the things that needed to get done in the nature of running the business? Would that be more beneficial if social media were a piece
Oh,
of
that would be delightful.
And the next question is, would any of you in that situation be able to give up control?
Well, that's the $65,000 question now, isn't it? And I think we're all A-type personality. I think giving up that control is always difficult.
I think it revolves around trust. If someone has demonstrated to me that they can handle it, I think there is a meshing of the getting that person and letting them take the reins.
I mean, I had a full-time assistant when I was a part of a team, and it was the third assistant before I could really get up. And then I did, and it was delightful. Like, then I'm just running into the office on the call on my phone in the morning going, here's the 6 things I need you to do today. And then they were off my plate and they got finished. Now, were there mistakes? Obviously, always. But at the same time, I got really used to having somebody I could trust for like a year or 2. And then when I had to give that up, it was really hard to take on those tasks that I didn't like anymore.
Are you thinking about hiring someone?
No, I can't afford. I don't want to spend my money that way right now. I don't want to say I can't afford it. I could. I just don't want
I love that.
that way right now.
Sorry, I just want to ask one question for clarification, though. The 6 things you're talking about that you're having them do are transaction-related things?
No. Well, I mean, schedule the photographer, print out my postcards, decide what the next marketing event or client event's going to be. At times she helped me stage. She was really good at like it allowed me to stay on the seller's side and be her teammate. And then she did the things that I wanted done, but didn't want to influence my relationship with the seller. So she could just be like, oh, this face has got to go. And she would just take it straight to the garage. I mean, that was lovely. Put lock boxes on, put under contract signs up. There's a lot of little nitty gritty details that we take on every day that do not need us to be the ones to do it.
Yes. And I want to set a point of differentiation here if we can, because I think this is something that is very near and dear to my heart. So when I work with agents, one of the first things I have to ask is, when you talk about having help, right, in terms of, Barbara, what you said, social media, or Kelly, in your case, I had an assistant. The question I always ask, though, is, are they doing real estate related things or life things? Because there's a difference. And what I mean by that is, the first assistant I think an agent should have is on the life things side. And then the second assistant they should have transitions to the real estate side. So if someone said, Lance, you could, in all of your executive coaching that you do currently, you could add and bolt on one thing, right? That one thing bolt on would be, every client you worked with would get that one thing. That one thing for me, hands down, every single time, would be an executive admin. Every client, every time, executive admin without fail. And an executive admin would be the person that was in your email, dumping out all the crap that was garbage, would be surfacing and creating little flags on the things that you needed to reply and respond to, would be putting things in the appropriate folders, right? So if they were transaction-related emails, they went to the appropriate folder so you can retain them. And then they would manage and handle all aspects of your calendar. And every person in and around your world would know that if they needed anything, guess what? They talk to your EA, and your EA schedules it, handles it, gets it all done. So to some extent, Kelly, like what you said, that overlaps. Sure, I need you to schedule the painter. That's a scheduling element of something or whatever, or go figure out who's going to go do that showing for me. But at least between email and calendaring and what we call life management, hey, by the way, the registration just expired on our stupid car at home. Contact the DMV, find out what I need, book the appointment at the DMV, fill out the paperwork for me, and have it ready. I know I got to go, but make sense? The kids need the camp forms filled out with all of the things to make sure they got their whooping cough, Well, nobody needs vaccinations anymore anyway. Those are all overrated. So
They're not needed. They're just not
I
needed.
think, that's a bad example, but obviously, does this make sense though? Like, this is the first part before we get into the lockbox support and the help coverage for the showing or the fill out my transaction coordination. What do y'all think of that?
Yeah, makes sense.
Totally.
I have interviewed someone for that role. There are people who will do that and they do it remotely, like, right? I think that was actually harder for me to give up control-wise, Barbara, than the real estate side. Like, I don't know. Maybe just because it's my personal life, that was harder for me. And I don't know. It felt weird to have somebody in my email and calendar. I know if I did it, I would probably love it. But again, it's a cost and it's a trust and it's a relationship that you have to build. And the girl that I talked to, and I'd be happy to share her name, was lovely because you could almost say, I need like $600 a month of you this month. And when she got to where she billed you at 600, she stopped doing what you needed. So like I'm going to be on vacation. I don't need that much. Or I want to do a big party. So I'm going to need more in that direction and less in the other direction. So that was lovely because it was, I don't know. I mean, we're very seasonal. I'm not the same amount of busy every month.
But you are the same amount of life busy every month,
True that.
right? Family life and those things and all that stuff. And again, to varied degrees, we're all in different stages. You know, Kelly, you say you have 2 kids, both in high school?
Middle school, high school.
Middle school, high school.
Mm-hmm.
Barbara, you spend, I don't know how many hours perfecting the golf game. And I'm just kidding.
As you should.
So someone needs to schedule your tea time. But
no children.
You are extremely busy. No, but for even the children part aside, though, but you do a tremendous amount of, again, work in and amongst not just the real estate community, but also on the social side. And I mean through philanthropy and all the other things that you do in the women's programs. And Lisa Marie, you're busily toppling the government, so we all need to, help out on that end, I think, a little bit too. But
it is hard juggling between career and pro-democracy work.
That's true.
My calendars get juggled. I have to. It's real.
The struggle is real.
That's right.
But so this is, I think, a question that I think a lot of people listening to this are going to have, right? That when we talk about what do you need as an agent? Well, what is it you need, though? Because, I think at the end of the day, Barbara, you said, okay, well, social media help. Amazing, great idea. Should we expect more? Right? Kelly, I don't want to have to communicate through 28 channels. Well, should we expect more? Should there be somebody that can help reduce the amount of friction around the communication? Lisa Marie, to your point, the expectation that you have of aligning with a company or a brokerage, both ethically, morally, whatever those things are, should we expect more? So that was a roundabout way of me walking into the topic of today of what do you need and should you expect more, right? Because I think the industry has changed tremendously. So on that note, tell me what you think about what you actually need to run your business well, because you each have similar and yet very different businesses.
Well, to Lisa Marie's point, I mean, wouldn't it be amazing if our brokerage actually supported my business and checked in? I mean, I haven't been in the office in like 3 months.
Me too.
I have a sales manager. How come I'm not getting a phone call that says, hey, Kelly, how are things going? Yeah, I don't review my contract until next year. But in the meantime, is there anything you can do to help me? I don't know. I really do think that things have changed in 5 years. It's not even 10 or 20. Like when I started, it was a smaller brokerage. It was more, there's only one office in town. You know everybody's name. It meant something to be there because not everybody got invited to the table.
This is why relationally it's more important to me than the newest, shiniest thing that a broker can offer, because I've been doing this a really, really long time. And like it all becomes it's like the fashion dress that was in style 20 years ago and it comes back in style again. It's kind of regurgitated like that. And it begins to sound cheesy and canned because it doesn't resonate anymore. It's it is not, it's not in service to making us better at what we are do so that we can be better for our clients, for the public. And that's what rubs me the wrong. I actually look at Patagonia. I do believe you can make money and do the right thing.
Or Ben
Yes.
and Jerry's.
Yeah. And they sold, and now they're upset they sold to who they sold to.
Did I ever tell you that I pitched them on a flavor?
Oh, good. Oh, do tell, Lance.
I did. I actually submitted a flavor. They had a whole competition about like pick our next flavor, and it was called Things You Find in Ben and Jerry's Pockets.
Ooh.
Was it like a New Orleans king cake where you find a little baby in there and stuff?
Yeah, it was like, like an old tissue, some Werther's Originals, like, just mix a whole bunch of things that you find in Ben and Jerry's Pockets. I don't know. I just thought it was a good flavor. But Barbara, what do you need?
Well, I think that we should go back to the other question that Kelly started
Okay.
with, because I think you're right. I don't think that agents expect more, and we are the ones that are facing the clients. For the most part, our clients, I speak for myself, my clients are working with me because of me. And the brokerage is a nice adjunct to it. But I think that things have changed so much that I think a lot of agents are really giving up their, for lack of a better term, power and don't know it.
Lance, on one of your most recent podcasts, you said at the very end, a brokerage should almost be invisible behind you. It should provide you with all the stuff you need to forward face with your people. And who's behind you isn't, to your point, Barbara, people don't work with us because of who people don't even remember who I hang my license with. They work with us because they want to work with us because we have earned their trust in some way.
Yeah. And I guess the magic question, though, and why I go back to, and Barbara, thank you for the redirection there. That's what I'm asking, though. And what do you need? So if that's the current status and we say that's what's happening, so then what would good look like for you, for any of you?
Well, how about the brokerage pay for my assistant?
Okay, there we go. That's a start. I like that idea
That would
very
be
much.
wonderful.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Like, you would never consider going to another brokerage if you actually gave me something we needed. Like, how many staff members sit in your offices? I don't know what they do. They are not busy. How about they manage my calendar, my email?
They used to.
They used to.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure when I started at where I am, we had people building websites for us and helping us figure out social. There was a lot more than there is now.
Yeah,
and I mean that's why it made sense then.
For sure. And again, I like that. I wanna continue with this. What else would you expect?
Free parking.
Way to set the bar really high, Kelly. That was, good Lord, free parking. Can I have snacks too?
For
I
my
need snacks.
offices. I had free parking when I started. That got taken away.
Well, I think that also some, the assistant's a great idea, Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly, 7 years ago, there was a lot more support. But I do think that some recognition would be really great. I mean, a couple years ago, I had a knock your socks off year. And I didn't even get an atta girl, and it just felt like it was just, it wasn't important.
I do have a question on that, though. Can you give us better definition around recognition? Because I will tell you, one of my pet peeves is every March or every, February, it's agent recognition time with, and all they do is go on LinkedIn and post, I was the President's Circle Silver winner of blah, blah, right? And then you've got like 18 agents, no actual clients or anybody else comments on it, just 18 agents of, it's fabulous, Cynthia. It couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Ow. And you're like, So are we talking like, because I can make a an award for you if you like. I mean, I got paper mache and I got all kinds of cool stuff here.
No. And it's like nails on a chalkboard when I see other agents post, I am gold with my MLS or whatever the designation is. And you're absolutely right. It's only other agents that comment on it because no one else knows what that is. And then they always thank their clients that supported them this past year. And I'm like, you're not thanking your clients. You're puffing your chest out because you had a good year. That doesn't help your clients at all. So
Perhaps more what you're speaking to is just the silence from your brokerage that you worked really hard and you achieved something that was remarkable for you, and nobody even saw you. I mean, we get phone calls on our birthday from people we don't even know. Let's be clear. I mean, really, we do. From in our company, we get phone calls and emails from people we don't even know. And so I think I think that is legit to say, hey, like, are we a team here? Or like, is this a cohesive group? Or are we here for each other? Or what are we doing?
So what does that recognition look like, though? What would you want that recognition to look like for any of you?
Barbara, what I hear you saying is that you want to be recognized as a professional by the professionals you work with. But you've been in professional corporate settings before, right?
yes.
And when you come from a corporate background, you have that kind of bar of treating my job as profession, being surrounded by professionals and leaders who know how to lead appropriately. When that person says to you, hey man, I don't know what I was doing, but I was in my file and I saw that year you had, and good job. That was amazing. How did that feel? I'm so proud of you. Like, that's what you're
Love it.
asking for, is professional recognition, maybe. Tell me if I'm wrong or not. That you're looking for professional, to be treated like a professional, because this is your career. This is not your hobby.
No, it is not my hobby. And that's it exactly. I think that especially being a solo agent, which all three of us are, that we kind of get, sort of lost in the shuffle, because in Northern California, if you're part of a team, that's where all the attention is on, and they keep going back to the same principles of the same teams. And it's just, let's just hear from some other people. Let's just sort of share the wealth here. And that's the thing that I think. And now, mind you, I'm very happy I'm a solo agent. Very happy I'm a solo agent. But the teams are not always where it's at.
I once told the managers that at quarterly meetings, I actually don't want to hear from the Uber agents or title or escrow. I already know what they do. I really actually would like to hear from some folks that had a really difficult year and still persevered and still are going, and they are still being of service and helping people. Those are the folks I actually want to hear from. I think I could grow from those guys. I think they have grown.
Yes, but that doesn't inspire everyone to come to the office. Nobody wants to come to the office to hear people talk about being exceptionally average, like my shirt says.
Being real. Nobody comes to the office to talk about being
Nobody
real.
comes to be
It's
real.
free.
We all know the real estate office sales meetings are living Instagram. That's all the sales meeting is. Everybody putting on their Sunday best, everybody showing up and talking about how wonderful everything is all the time. And then one person will throw out like, worst day ever, just to bait people. Oh, are you okay? What's happening? Do you need hugs and us to powder your bottom for you? Like, the whole thing is insanity. But I do think you're all saying something incredibly important that I think a lot of agents want, and that's respect. You just want to feel respected. And again, recognition can come in lots of different forms. But I played tennis on the weekends, and the tennis coach that runs the clinic, we were talking about his pet peeves. And I was thinking, as a coach on the court, whatever, his pet peeves would be, people that don't listen to the advice, or someone that, interrupts him while he's teaching, or no, his pet peeve was the word or the term coach. And I was like, that's really interesting. Why? And he said, Because, I understand it. But when people are like, all right, coach, what are we doing today? Or, when the kids are like, okay, Coach Greg, what should I, he was saying it diminishes and devalues the fact that I'm a professional. And I was like, oh man, that is a real estate thing if I ever heard it. Because he said, and he wrote a book on it. And he said not once in the book, and he wrote it for other teaching professionals, but he said not once in the book will you ever see me or read the word coach. I always refer to them as professionals because at the end of the day, we are professionals in a professional environment. And if you just viewed me as a coach, you wouldn't respect what I say nearly as much as if you viewed me as a professional. And I just thought about like that as being a great translation into the world of real estate, that what we lack and want more than anything, I think, is to be viewed as professionals. And I think so much of what we do comes from that space and place where we feel less than or insecure about not being seen as a professional. So yes, the recognition from the brokerage to me is a form of respect as being a professional.
100%.
I give my Zorro
There we
snap and
go.
Z formation on that one.
Well, think about it. I mean, at the golf club, they're not called the coach. They're called the pro.
Wait, what?
At the
true.
country club, at the golf club,
Oh,
they have a pro on staff. They don't have a coach on staff.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do we get people to treat us with respect and as professionals if it's not even coming from our own source? Like, there's no way we can get that from the sphere of the world here. We can't even get our bosses to acknowledge hard work and good effort and great results.
So I'm hearing all of you say, though, that one of the things that you would expect in what you need is to be not only treated as a professional in the industry and business that you operate, but also to feel more confident and comfortable in living that daily with the people that you serve so that they get better at viewing you as that professional and garner that respect. Is that a safe assessment? Fabulous. Look at us. It's like a group therapy team today. This is
great.
amazing.
Yeah, we're
Now,
send my check.
so as we start to wind the episode down and land the plane, tell me pet peeves. I was like a good agent pet peeve for in the day-to-day work that you do. Each of you can give me a pet peeve, and Lisa Marie, you cannot say the house that I'm currently trying to sell that is
No, stop. Stop right there.
So what do you have as a pet peeve?
Oh, where do I start?
Exactly.
My current pet peeve is other agents that don't know how to stay in their lane.
Ooh.
I went to set a showing. They needed a 2-hour notice. I looked at my calendar, back to Lance's point, 3 things need to happen: the seller's schedule, my buyer's schedule. And I was like, look, I can't go at 5:30 tonight. So how about 3:00 tomorrow? That was the first day on the market. Our market's not that hot right now. I get an email from the listing agent. Well, can you come tonight? We have an offer in hand. Well, you're the one asking for 2 hours, dude. So can I come tonight? I don't know. And he's like, I'll get you in there. I'm like, great. Call my buyers. They can get us in there. They have an offer tonight. You're going to have to decide quickly. Is this what you want to do? Yes. We drive there. No one's told the seller we're coming. She's all frantic trying to get out of the house. And I'm just like, and then of course my clients don't like it. And then I said, hey, thanks so much for getting us in there. We're not going to write an offer. Good luck to you on the current deal. He goes, so how come they didn't like it? Well, why does it matter? I just ruined my afternoon for you. And by the way, when is your offer due? Tomorrow at noon. Oh, so we could have come at tomorrow morning and you could have had 2 offers, but you pressured us and pushed us. And now you don't have one from me. Because do you think I like that house? No, I didn't. That went with that agent? No, I didn't.
Well, the thing is that what we learned is that if you wrote an offer, that behavior portends what escrow is going to be like. And
Yes.
you're doomed. What does Lance always say? If it's predictable, it's preventable. And we can predict that. So it's a really good thing you didn't even write on that house.
I feel your pain. We speak your name. No, I feel your pain on that one.
Funny
I do.
enough, for my brokerage. Oh.
Lisa Marie, what do you got? What's your thing that makes you twitch? What makes the eye twitch?
Well, on the shallow side of things, my pet peeve at the office is when agents leave their dishes in the sink and assume someone else is going to do it. That really is a super, super pet peeve of mine because I have been on both sides and on the lofty and probably not easily fixable, or maybe it is. It is my pet peeve that my brokerage is not aligned with me and even a little bit
But
encouraged.
do you even know their alignment? I mean, isn't that what's frustrating? Is that we don't have any?
Well, the alignment that I see does not fit me.
Right, but have they come out to say?
No, well, that's part of the problem, and also just the behavior behind, just the way corporate America disappoints me on every level. I don't know if that's a good place to leave it, but you asked the question, and that's my honest answer.
And I think that I think it's super interesting about what you said too, and Kelly, to your point, it's more about what they're saying and how they're saying it and the way that they're packaging it. And I think that the problem that exists today with a lot of brokerages, and this is not one brokerage, this is many brokerages, is that there continues to be this sort of false narrative around their value and importance to you, right? And how they're helping you. Almost as if they're sort of like, well, look, you're busy helping clients. We're going to go fight the battles of the world for you while you go help your clients. And it's like, yes, but those decisions and choices that you're making directly impact my clients and my ability to earn a living. So I kind of would like to have an input and say on those things as well too. But I get it. I mean, I think it's frustrating in any capacity that, we have to hang our license somewhere. It's required, right? And nobody wants to have that done while the place that they hang their license is working an agenda in any form. So, Barbara, what do you have? What's your pet peeve when someone tries to play through?
No, or hits into me. No. No,
Bastards.
that is a big pet peeve, but that's a whole nother podcast. We can talk about that. I think my biggest pet peeve is along Kelly's line. When you're in a transaction and the other agent is not carrying their weight, and that they are not representing their clients properly. And I mean, I'm hard on other agents, and if I'm the listing agent, man, I make sure everything is moving right along, and I kind of feel like you're the conductor when you're the listing agent. But agents from my brokerage, I hold to an even higher standard. And I just expect that you need to respect the client, that they're putting a lot of money down. That's a huge purchase, especially in Northern California, even for entry-level homes. And when I just see an agent just not being professional, we were talking about professionals, not being professional, it makes me crazy because they give all of us a bad name. And that is my biggest pet peeve. It makes me crazy because we do a lot, and we do a lot that people never see.
It's so true.
Which is my pet peeve, because I will say that one of the things that has always surprised me the most is I am incredibly lucky and very, very blessed to work with all of you. And I mean that truly, because when I look at where my life trajectory has gone, right? The one thing I am certain about is that everything I have in my life is because of someone else. There's nothing in my life that is of my own great volition and doing. And each of you has taught me something over the years, and just knowing you and working with you and being friends with you and, again, spread out all over the country. But each of you has taught me something invaluable about myself, about how I show up for people, about how I communicate with people, about what people need and want. And so much of that comes from what I've seen and how I've watched each of you work with your clients, right? And I would have not 1 ounce of problem for anyone in my life, my family, my friends, to be able to say, hey, if you're moving to Boulder or Livermore or Seattle, you've got to go work with Lisa Marie, Kelly, Barbara, because I don't need to even think about it. Once I make the introduction, I can just walk away. We're good. I already know it's going to be fantastic. The only exception would be if I sent you my mother, and then I'm going to probably apologize in advance and tell each of you, I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me. Please keep talking to me. I value the friendship.
I want to meet your mother. I have
Me
heard so
too.
many
I think I would love
stories that
her.
I definitely want to meet your mother.
She is blessed her heart in her mid to late 80s now. She just flew back from Puerto Rico, and I was talking to my brother on the phone last night, and we were giggling because I said, I was secretly hoping that Mom would like get stopped by ICE going through security because I just want just visualizing that episode at the airport of my mom who would be like, "Don't touch me, do not touch me, no, and you cannot look through my phone, and no." I can just like see this whole thing. She would end up tasing somebody, not the other way around. I guarantee you. She would be like, "Coño, dame eso. I'm going to shoot you in the leg with this carajo. I have a first class ticket. Get the hell away from me." So I could just envision that process. But I say all that and again with complete honesty, that I think that the thing that I wish the most is that consumers in the world understood that you embody what they need more than anything in a real estate transaction. All the AI in the world, all the shortcuts, all the, discount, private exclusive, for sale by owner, all the things that are trying to disrupt and intermediate the business in the industry. At the end of the day, what it really boils down to more than anything else is, can I actually have somebody help me walk through a process as a partner and with my best interest at heart? And each one of you does that every single day. And I am not only humbled by the work that you do, but I genuinely do recognize and learn from each of you. One, why I don't get back into the business, because when I hear the things that y'all go through, I am like, I am so glad I am on the other side of of that fence again. And then secondarily, though, and in all seriousness, what I really admire more than anything is you keep showing up, right? And I've seen each of you go through spots and moments in your careers, in your work, in how you go through life on the whole, where it's been hard, like it is for any agent. All of us go through our stuff, right? But you keep showing up, and not in that way of like time to make the donuts. Like you show up, you put a smile on. Why? Because you love what you do and you love helping people. And you can't find that much anymore. It's a business and an industry. And I just wish there were more brokerages out there that would support that part of what you do and do it well, because that I haven't found yet.
You just got to keep going. You just got to have the faith that it's business will get better if business is down, that you're doing the right thing, even though your client may think that you're not doing enough. You just keep going. You just keep going.
There's always people who need help.
Yeah. As we wrap, if you had one message for the people that haven't experienced working with you yet, what would it be?
I want them to think of me as their big sister. Like, I will go to the mat for them. I will protect them. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to be honest with them. I'm going to tell them something they may not want to hear. And they look at me and they're like, I'm so excited about this house. I'm just as excited in that moment.
Yeah. I love that.
I think that they're going to learn a lot and they're going to have fun along the way. I was with a client last night and he said, yeah, I didn't think it would be fun, but it was really fun. So and that's like the highest compliment, because I could tell you stories about his particular transaction. Kind of like Lisa Marie.
You made it fun, Barbara. It wasn't the transaction that made him fun.
I try to tell that to everybody, all my clients. There should be an element of fun in real estate. I mean, maybe not always, but I really strive for that. And the other thing I would tell people is, real estate is a conversation. It's not a destination. It just starts with a conversation. And you should ask all of the questions. There's no bad questions, and you can ask them twice. And if you don't get an answer that you understand, you should ask it again, or maybe ask somebody different. It really, yeah. It's the biggest financial decision most people will ever make in their lives, and they should ask all the questions, and they should feel respected and heard.
Oh, absolutely. I always say to my clients that in any transaction, there's some really high highs and some really low lows. And I'm really good at work. My job is to kind of make that delta just a little bit smaller.
I like that you set expectations.
And hopefully everybody listening to this heard professionals, because that's what each one of you are. And it's been a pleasure having worked with you and for you in the time that we've spent together. What an amazing episode. And I will just let the audience listening know, I could not leave you without letting you know that each one of these ladies is a huge fan of boxed white Zinfandel. So at the end, if you want to send them some box white Zinfandel, they would love it.
The cheaper, the better.
Look at the show notes. You'll have their email addresses and social handles, and they just love it. A nice 2-year aged boxed white Zinfandel with a little pour spout right on top of the fridge, by the way, right where they like it. So thank you, ladies, for being here. I really appreciate all of you, and I hope everybody listening got a lot out of this. I will see y'all on the next round, and go have fun in life, because I think each one of you bring a lot of fun to what you do.
Thank you, Lance. Thank you, everybody. That was super fun.